Welcome to Hood Champion Boxing and Sports. In boxing, you find a way to win or you find a way to lose. And man, people need to really understand you can't play boxing in any sport where there's a potential for head trauma. Bad things happen. And that's what we saw with Aidos Yerbossynuly. Very unfortunate, man. He's in a coma right now, for those of you who didn't know, after taking a beating from David Morrell. Very, very unfortunate, man. He's got a lot of swelling on the brain, bleeding on the brain, and they're just trying to see how this is going to develop. Is it going to get better? Is the bleeding going to stop? Is the swelling going to subside? If not, things don't really get better if they can't get control of the situation. Okay. Now, this is the thing. It's real unfortunate, man. He was eventually knocked out in the 12th round. But they took him to the hospital for an evaluation because, to be honest, that fight went about three, 4 rounds longer than what it should have. They could have stopped it a long time ago. But it is what it is at this point, man. The bleeding on the brain. After the evaluation, they decided, you know what, it's just not good. But what they're saying, these are the words that the doctors are using and his team and the spokesperson for him. They're just saying he's hurt pretty bad and he's not doing well. Okay, so they go on they went on to put on another statement saying representatives of TGB Promotions and PPC are on the ground in Minneapolis with Aidos' team, and we're monitoring the situation closely. Out of respect for he and his family's privacy, we can't share any details, but we ask the boxing community to keep him in their thoughts and prayers. So you got people who come out and say that it's a bad situation. Then you got these guys coming out saying they can't really talk much about it. So what that tells you, if they're not giving you good news, then probably need to really just say a little prayer for this dude, man, because it's really, really, really unfortunate, man. I hate to hear that something like that happened to a boxer. It's really, really sad. But Morrell is one of those guys who, he's one of the top 168 pounders. And he's got power, he's got speed, he's got skill. Many people are saying that he's going to take over the 168 pound division when Canelo calls it quits. That's how they pegged him to go on there and kind of be the successor for Canelo. I don't know if I agree with that, but that's what a lot of the boxing pundits are saying. So it was just, my understanding is Morrell just delivered a sustained beating on the overmatched opponent before taking him out with 20 seconds left for the final bell. And then the guy, Yerbossynuly, was hurt so badly that the referee Tony Weeks and Morrell had to help him to his corner. So that just lets you know that it's just, those situations in the ring, when you see a guy with these brain injuries, man, and the reason I can talk this pretty intelligently as far as how they respond, because I just watched an hour video on the Puerto Rican boxer, man, who got cheated and he was getting hit behind the head in that fight, man. Deontay Wilder was crying over it, man. I just watched an hour video on him, man. They have a bunch of videos his family puts out on him all the time. See, I'm about to go crazy. But I'm gonna tell you about what I saw, right? What I saw. Because I saw it there. I saw it with, is it McClellan? And I saw it with another boxer who made a weird noise in Pritchard Cologne, right? There was another boxer who made a weird noise when he was walking back to his corner. It was like like he said, it's like he made an ant sound, right? And they all react the same way once they start, the brains, the bleeding or the swelling starts to get to a point to where they start to become incoherent and, pass out. When you see a guy can't go back to his corner, legs start to go, or start to slump, or start to vomit, or, start to slur his speech, there were signs. I'm not saying in this fight. In this fight, you knew he was outmatched. Yeah, he's tough. Just stop the fight. Yeah, there's always a chance of landing a big shot, but he just wasn't going to win that fight. Okay, so they should have stopped this fight for Aidos Yerbossynuly earlier, but it is what it is. But when I watch those other fights, the Pritchard Cologne and some of the other ones, there are signs, man. The thing is, you just can't see what's going on inside their heads, but the body language is the same in all of them. All of them. But these fighters have that fire inside them to where they're not going to quit. You know what I'm saying? But they all will complain. And they'll say, they'll say, how you feeling? Like, I'm all right. Or, I don't feel good. Something's weird. And then they'll go back out there because they don't really think that it's that significant, okay? And the sad part is, if they quit on their stool, the backlash they get, they may never get another fight. The boxing community all turn on them, call them names, insult them, right? Because you look at and I'm gonna talk about this one because, like I said, I just watched an hour video on him. You look at Pritchard Cologne's situation, right? Now, this guy here, Aidos Yerbossynuly, he wasn't getting hit in the back of the head like that. But in Pritchard Cologne's situation, this man was getting hit in the back of the head. Hard shots, over and over and over and over and over. And, him going down, him going to the complaining. And the thing is, the commentators were making jokes about him. Oh, it looks like someone went to acting school, like he's going to be going to Hollywood sometime soon. Like, they were making crazy jokes about Pritchard Cologne going down and saying he was hurting and saying he was hitting the back of the head. Even the commentators were sitting there making fun of him, like he was acting. So, and one of the commentators was the guy they used to call the champ, Sean O'Malley, whatever the hell his name is. But he was an ex-fighter. And shit, there it is. The fight's over. Pritchard Cologne, they're heading to the back. Man, getting a little help, but he wasn't totally out of it. Gets back there in the dressing room, locker room, whatever. He does not tell his mom he's not feeling right. He's vomiting. Then he just starts to break down, and everybody freaks out. And all that could have been avoided. So when you look at the stuff with this guy, Aidos Yerbossynuly, these guys aren't going to quit. And when you got a referee, matter of fact, I need to do a video on that referee from that Pritchard Cologne fight, because that guy was the same referee who reffed the Lamont Peterson Amir Khan fight and was doing some foul stuff. That referee's foul. But anyway, this ain't about him right now. But when you look at this, it's just sad. Sad. And for me, I'm so busy with my 4 sons, man, that I don't really watch TV. But at night, like right now, they all go to sleep. Then I'll come and I'll take my time and do some videos, and maybe I'll watch a little YouTube, you know what I'm saying? Because I just can't watch TV. Like, those days are over. Like, that just doesn't exist in my world anymore. But, when I sit back and I forgot what I was going to say, man. Oh, watching TV, and I'm seeing stuff, and watch the 1 hour video and seeing these rappers getting killed and shit like that. It's man, that stuff messes with my energy, man. I just don't like. I don't. It's like, I don't know any of these rappers. I don't know these entertainers. I don't know this guy, Aidos Yerbossynuly. I didn't know the guy who was fighting out of New York who who got killed. I watched his stuff too. Can't remember his name. I know Zab Judah spoke highly of him. He was from a good family, man. He's a black boxer. Had the 2 braids going on the back, on top of his head, cornrows. I'm not even gonna look it up right now, man. But I don't know those guys. But like I'm telling you, that messes with my energy, man. And the reason it messes with my energy is because, you know, that's a life, you know. And if you ever seen a person, you know, be alive in front of you and pass away in front of you, that messes with your energy, man. Okay, and I've seen that. But also, as someone who's boxed before, right? It makes me wonder. Like I was fighting this guy one time, and he wasn't hitting me behind the head, but I remember after the sparring that I was a little dizzy and had a headache. And I remember I was telling my coach, I was like, yo, man, got a little bit of a headache. And my jaw was a little bit sore. He was like, oh, that's just from where so-and-so just, you know, hit you upside your head. And I remember just going off to my room like it was nothing, drinking water and relaxing and taking some Motrin. And the headache and stuff, you know, it subsided. But what made me mention that to you guys is because the way the coach looked at it was more just brushing it off. There was no talk about, man, you may want to go get a CAT scan, you may want to go do this, nothing. Now, my reaction wasn't like these guys because, of course, I didn't have any bleeding on the brain or anything like that. But, you know, the brain got banged up a little bit, you know, in that sparring session. Plus, I was dehydrated, and that just definitely didn't help. But what I'm getting at is drawing an association between my experience on an extremely low level of boxing, but the same mentality at that low level from a coach to the higher levels with these professional elite boxers. It's kind of like, you know, brushed off. You're all right. Just took some shots. Go home, relax. And I really think that more attention needs to be put on these guys in the ring who are taking excessive damage. You know what? Call a fight. Let them live to see another day. And if they complain, it is what it is. Deontay Wilder. Now, you look at what's going on here with this guy, okay? Aidos Yerbossynuly, right? Now, you think about Deontay Wilder in that fight with Tyson Fury, that second one especially, if Mark Breland wouldn't have threw that towel in. Could you imagine, right? I may just say this for another video, but I'm going to say it real quick, but I'm going to do a video on it. Could you imagine if Deontay Wilder went the whole 12 rounds or however many rounds in that second fight with Tyson Fury, then came back and went to that third fight with Tyson Fury and went to, what was it, the 11th round we got stopped? And went another 11 rounds of getting beat like that? We may be talking this conversation about Deontay Wilder. Okay, so I just think at some point, I was watching something, I heard a criminal say, I'd rather be the suspect than the victim, right? And I said, you know what? I understand what he's saying. And if we apply that to boxers, I think we can say you'd rather be alive than dead. Live to fight another day. So that guy who said he'd rather be the suspect than a victim, I agree with him in his thug mentality and his bad boy mentality. The same way I apply that to boxing, I think what we get from that is rather be alive, live to fight another day, than go on to prove a point of how tough I am and get killed in the ring. You can't see your kids, family no more. You heard what Miguel Cotto said when stupid Margarito was like, I'm ready to die in the ring. And they asked Miguel Cotto, what do you think about that? Miguel Cotto said, who, me? Why I want to die? Why I have a wife and kids. That's stupid. It's stupid for someone to say they want to die. For what? For a fight? That's stupid. I want to go home to my wife and kids. And I think that a better job can be done to make sure these fighters who just really look outclassed, doesn't matter what level it is, stop the fight, get them home safe, to live, to fight another day, to be the suspect, not the victim. It is what it is. That being said, y'all keep cool. Shout out to the veterans. I appreciate the support, all 7 continents. And as always, I'm in the breeze.